everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy you're here with us today.
In this podcast, we help you practice English by listening to real, natural conversations. And today, we have a very interesting topic.
Yes, today we're going to talk about something that many of us might find very difficult. The topic is a day without my phone.
That's right. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning and your phone is not there. No messages, no social media, no alarms, nothing.
For many people, that sounds almost impossible, but it's a fun topic to explore because phones are such a big part of our daily lives.
Absolutely. In this episode, we'll share what it might feel like to spend a whole day without using a phone, our challenges, our feelings, and maybe even the benefits.
And as always, while we talk, we want you to listen carefully, learn new words and expressions, and think about your own life. Could you live without your phone for one day?
That's a great question to start with. So, let's jump into today's topic, a day without my phone. Okay, Julia, let's be honest. When you first heard today's topic, a day without my phone, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
Honestly, panic. I thought, no way, I can't do it. My phone is the first thing I check in the morning and the last thing I look at before bed.
I get that. For me, my first reaction was curiosity. Like, what would happen if I really tried it? But at the same time, I also felt a little nervous.
Nervous? Why nervous?
Because I use my phone for everything. Messages, work emails, even directions when I go somewhere. Without it, I thought I might feel lost.
Oh, I can totally relate. I use my phone for music, for connecting with friends, for reminders. It feels like my whole life is inside that small screen.
Exactly. And I think that's why this topic is so interesting. Our first reactions show how much we depend on our phones every single day.
Yes, and I'm sure our listeners feel the same way. Maybe some of you also thought, oh no, I can't survive without my phone.
Right. But don't worry. We're not here to make anyone feel bad. We just want to explore what life looks like when the phone is not always in our hand.
And who knows? Maybe we'll discover that living without a phone for one day is not as scary as we think.
So, Julia, let's imagine it's morning, and today we're living without our phones. How would your morning look?
Usually, the very first thing I do is grab my phone. I check the time, I look at my messages, and sometimes I scroll on social media before even getting out of bed.
Same here. My phone is also my alarm clock, so it's the first thing I touch in the morning. But without it, waking up feels very different. I would probably use a regular alarm clock, or maybe just wake up naturally.
That's true. Without a phone alarm, mornings might be slower. Maybe I'd get out of bed and stretch instead of immediately staring at a screen.
I think that would actually feel refreshing. Usually, when I look at my phone right away, I see emails or news that stress me out before my day even begins.
Oh yes, I know what you mean. Sometimes one message or one post can change my mood completely in the morning. Without a phone, maybe I'd start the day more peacefully.
Exactly. I could imagine making breakfast calmly, maybe listening to the birds outside instead of reading notifications.
That sounds so nice. I think I'd also have more time in the morning. You know how sometimes we say, I don't have time for breakfast? But really, we spend 15 or 20 minutes just scrolling.
That's a great point. Without my phone, I'd probably eat better and even leave home on time.
So maybe the morning without a phone isn't so bad after all. It might actually give us a healthier, calmer start to the day.
Yes, I agree. At least for the morning part, it feels like a phone-free life could be a positive change. Okay, Julia, mornings without a phone sound kind of peaceful. But what about when the work or school day begins? That's when things get tricky.
Oh yes, definitely tricky. For me, I use my phone all the time for studying. I use apps to learn languages, I set reminders for my lessons, and I even use my phone to take quick notes. Without it, I think I'd feel unorganized.
I understand that. For my work, my phone is almost like an office in my pocket. I get emails, I join meetings, and sometimes I even write short reports using it. Without a phone, I'd probably miss important updates.
Right, and it's not just the updates. Sometimes our phones make things faster. For example, if I don't understand a word, I just use the dictionary app. Without my phone, I'd need to find a real dictionary or wait until I have a computer.
That's true. And even simple things like checking the time or using a calculator, we often do that on our phones. Without it, I'd probably waste extra time.
I think another challenge is communication. If I had group work or needed to contact a classmate, I couldn't just send a quick message. I'd have to actually meet them in person or use email on a computer.
Same here. At work, people expect fast answers. Without my phone, I'd probably look unprofessional because I can't respond quickly.
But maybe there's a positive side too. Without a phone, we might focus more deeply on our tasks, without constant notifications or distractions.
That's a good point. No buzzing, no messages popping up. It could mean better concentration.
Yes, but honestly, I think most of us would still feel the pressure. Phones have become such an important part of work and study that living without them even for a day can feel like swimming without water.
That's a strong image, but I think you're right. Work and study are definitely the hardest parts of a phone-free day. Now, Julia, let's talk about social life. I think this is one of the biggest challenges of a day without a phone.
Oh, absolutely. For me, staying connected with friends and family happens mostly through my phone. Messages, group chats, video calls, that's how we keep in touch. Without it, I'd probably feel cut off.
Same here. Imagine not replying to group messages or not checking updates on social media. People might even think something is wrong.
Yes, they'd probably say, "Where are you, Julia? Why are you not answering?" It can feel like disappearing from the world.
Exactly. And social media is such a big part of daily life. Without a phone, I'd miss birthdays, events, or even just funny posts that friends share.
But at the same time, it could also push us to connect in more personal ways, like visiting someone in person, writing a letter, or just having face-to-face conversations.
That's true. Imagine going to a cafe with a friend, and instead of checking your phone every few minutes, you just sit and talk. That feels more real.
Yes, more real and more present. I think without a phone, we might actually listen better to people around us.
I agree. But let's be honest, most of us would also feel lonely at some points. Because even if we are with people, we're used to sharing our thoughts instantly with a wider circle.
Very true. A photo, a quick text, or an emoji. It's so fast with a phone. Without it, you have to keep experiences to yourself, at least until you see your friends again.
And that can feel strange at first, but maybe it also teaches us patience. Not everything has to be shared instantly.
I like that. Maybe less phone use could actually make our relationships deeper, even if it feels difficult at first.
So in short, a day without a phone might challenge our social lives, but it could also remind us of the value of true, face-to-face connections. So, Julia, now it's afternoon. Normally, this is when I take short breaks, and, honestly, I often spend them scrolling on my phone. But without it, the afternoon feels very different.
Same here. Usually, during free time, I check social media, watch short videos, or chat with friends. Without a phone, I'd suddenly have a lot of extra time.
That's exactly how I felt. At first I thought, what do I do now? It felt a little boring. But then I realized I could use that time well, I went for a short walk outside. I noticed things I usually miss, like the sound of children playing or the colors of the trees. It was surprisingly relaxing.
That sounds really nice. I think without a phone, I'd probably spend more time on hobbies, maybe reading a book, writing in a journal, or even cooking something new.
Yes, it feels like free time becomes real free time, not just screen time.
But I have to admit, the first few minutes would be tough. You know that feeling when you automatically reach for your phone and then remember you don't have it?
Oh, yes, that phantom phone habit. It shows how much our brains are used to it.
Exactly. But once you push through that moment, you might actually feel free. Free to focus on one thing, free to enjoy the moment.
I completely agree. I even felt more creative. Without my phone, I started thinking of new ideas and just letting my mind wander.
That's powerful. Sometimes we think phones give us entertainment, but maybe they also take away our imagination.
Well said. So, in the afternoon, no phone might feel strange at first, but it can also open the door to creativity and real relaxation.
Yes, a slower, more meaningful kind of free time.
So, Julia, now the day is coming to an end. No phone all day. How do you think you'd feel in the evening?
Honestly, I think I'd feel a mix of emotions. On one hand, I'd feel proud that I survived without my phone. On the other hand, I'd probably miss it a lot.
Same here. I imagine I'd feel a little restless at night. Usually before bed, I watch videos or check messages. Without a phone, the evening would feel very quiet.
True, but maybe that quiet could also be peaceful. Instead of scrolling, I might read a book, write down my thoughts, or even go to bed earlier.
That's a good point. Without the blue light from the phone, maybe I'd sleep better too. Sometimes I stay up way too late just looking at the screen.
Me too, I tell myself. Just 5 more minutes, but suddenly it's midnight. Without a phone, I think evenings would be calmer and healthier.
So, in the end, the evening shows both sides. You miss the phone for entertainment, but you also discover more peace and better rest.
Exactly, and that reflection might help us realize how much control the phone has over our daily routines.
So, Julia, after going through the whole day without a phone, what do you think are the biggest benefits?
Well, the first one for me is focus. Without my phone, I noticed I could concentrate better on what I was doing. No constant buzzing, no new messages pulling my attention away.
That's a great point. For me, the biggest benefit was peace of mind. I didn't feel rushed or pressured to reply instantly to messages. I could actually slow down and enjoy the moment.
I like that. Another benefit is time. I realized how many hours I usually lose just scrolling or watching random videos. Without a phone, I had extra time for things I never do, like journaling or even just thinking quietly.
Yes, and it makes you realize how powerful small habits are. Phones are useful, but when they control our time, we forget what else we could be doing.
Exactly. So I think the big lesson here is balance. Phones are important tools, but we should be the ones in control, not the other way around.
Well said, Julia. And even if we don't give up our phones completely, we can still learn to use them more wisely.
Yes, maybe try a phone-free hour or a phone-free evening to enjoy some of these benefits without feeling disconnected.
I agree. The key lesson: life without a phone is possible, and sometimes it can even make life better. Julia, we've talked about the benefits, but let's be honest, living without a phone isn't always easy. What do you think are the biggest struggles?
Oh, definitely habit. Our phones are like extensions of our hands. Reaching for a phone without thinking is something we do almost automatically.
Yes, the phantom phone feeling is real. Sometimes you think your phone is in your hand, but it's not there. That can feel strange and even a little stressful.
Another struggle is fear of missing out. Messages, notifications, updates. We worry we might miss something important.
And boredom. Without a phone, some people feel like they have nothing to do, especially during free time.
Exactly. But the good news is these struggles are normal. Everyone feels them at first. The key is to be patient and keep trying small steps toward a phone-free day.
Right. Struggles don't mean failure. They're just part of the process. Okay, Julia, we've talked a lot about the challenges, but now let's give our listeners some practical tips. How can they try a day without their phone successfully?
The first tip is to start small. You don't have to give up your phone for a whole day immediately. Try one phone-free hour in the morning or evening.
That's a good one. The second tip is to plan activities in advance. If you know you'll have free time, prepare a book, a hobby, or even a walk. That way, you won't feel bored.
Another tip is to inform people in advance. Let friends or family know that you won't be reachable for a few hours or the day. That reduces stress about missing messages.
I like that. And here's one more. Use phone-free zones. For example, don't bring your phone to the dining table, bedroom, or during study time. Little boundaries can make a big difference.
Yes, and finally, reflect after the experience. Write down how you felt, what you learned, and what you enjoyed. That reflection makes the experience even more valuable.
Great tips, Julia. If listeners try even one of these, they'll start to feel the benefits of a day without their phone. So, Julia, after talking about a full day without a phone, what would you say to encourage our listeners to try it themselves?
I would say, don't be afraid to try it, even for a short time. It might feel strange at first, but you could discover calm, focus, and even more meaningful connections with people around you.
Absolutely. Phones are amazing tools, but we shouldn't let them control our time or attention. Trying a phone-free day can remind us that we are in control of our own lives.
And remember, it's not about giving up your phone completely, it's about finding balance. Even small steps can make a big difference.
So, take one day, one morning, or even 1 hour without your phone. Notice how it feels, enjoy the freedom, and maybe discover something new about yourself.
That's right. You might be surprised at how refreshing and rewarding it can be.
Exactly. And that's the challenge we leave for you today. Try it and see for yourself. Well, that's it for today's episode on A Day Without My Phone. We hope you enjoyed it and maybe even felt inspired to try your own phone-free day.
Yes, thank you so much for listening and spending your time with us. We really appreciate it.
Don't forget to subscribe to the English Learning Podcast so you won't miss our future episodes.
And if you try a phone-free day, let us know your experience in the comments or on social media. We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time, keep practicing English, enjoy life, and remember, you're in control of your time, not your phone.
Goodbye, everyone.